It's so good to see you guys. I really value this time, like, a lot.
Oh, God, yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but continue.
Okay, updates. Let me think. So I signed up some new coaches, which I'm really excited about. They are going to be, I don't think they're able to be on here tonight, but they're going to be watching, so I'm going to give them a little shout out. One of the girls, her name is Sienna, and she's actually a full-time missionary in Estonia. And she's like amazing. I've known her for a few years, and anyway, she's just incredible. Her story with Beachbody and how it's just changed her life is so cool. And she can stream all the BOD stuff in Estonia, which is awesome.
Thank you.
So she's doing her first group, and she's offering like a free trial group, like a 14-day thing.
Okay.
She already has, I think, like 6 people signed up. So it's like insane. And then the other girl, her name is Ellis. She's really great too. She's going to try to make our calls starting next week. And she's actually going to be co-leading the Attack Your Anxiety group with me.
Cool.
I kind of offered that to her as a way for her to like intern coach. I don't know if you guys have done that before, any of you guys, or seen success with like new coaches, just kind of getting her feet wet. So I'm really excited about that. And I have a lot of people signing up for the Attack Your Anxiety. So
good.
It's going to be starting soon.
How many girls do you have for that?
I think I'm hoping to have around 10, and then that'll be my 10. And then Ellis, who's co-leading with me, will bring in however many girls. And she just started promoting today.
Awesome. Dang, you're killing it.
Having fun.
Crushing
I start school next week, so I am trying to hustle before that starts.
You're crushing it. It's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yep.
I wanted to ask y'all, I know these call, like 7 p.m. is early. Like whenever I speak on someone else's call, it's always like 9 or 9:30. It's always so late, and like I can't function. But I know people have lives, and I know most people have dinner at 7, and I know that it is early. So I am like totally good pushing it back to like 7:30 or 8. How do y'all feel about that? I know Nicole definitely would need that, but what about y'all? Is that something you'd be okay with, or is that something that you need, or what? No comment. Don't care.
I'm pretty indifferent.
That would definitely work better for me.
Perfect. Okay. Awesome. But I feel like for moms it works better, and then yeah. All right.
Yeah, Wayne's just not getting home from work, so.
Yeah, that's too hard. Okay. Is 7:30 or 8 better for you?
I could do 7:30 but whatever else works for everyone else.
Cool. Well, then we'll probably move it. Yeah, it's more normal to do later, and I know that, but it's worked so far because I like basically recruit people that are like me, and so everybody like likes early things like me, so it's worked. Okay. Any other updates? Anything else y'all want to share?
Signed up my first coach this week.
Woohoo! Was it Abby? I've been to Abby.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Awesome. Did she get it figured out?
Yeah, she just did a different email.
I knew that would work.
Yeah.
That is so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So
I just need to get this guy to do it.
What's up? He doesn't know me, but I feel like I know him. I saw him bring your little nugget to Upstreet.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anybody else? You totally don't have to share, but I love hearing updates.
No, sorry, y'all.
Carrie got a coach this week too, which is awesome.
Yes.
So cool.
Just last night.
Yeah, it's so exciting. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen because this is something that I like. Pretty much whatever's on my heart, I'm gonna share. That's just kind of how I roll. I don't really plan these too far in ahead because I probably should, but this is just kind of what has worked. So I don't know about you, but sometimes I can definitely get in a slump, right? And maybe you haven't experienced this, yet if you're newer. But the reason I want to talk about this right now, because some of you are newer, is because there's something about like connecting like some mental highways, like hearing this now and then being able to down the road be like, oh, Macy talked about this, right? It's like the whole thing of gratitude. If you decide you're grateful for something, you're more like, if you're grateful for the sun, you're more likely to like notice the sun throughout the day because you've already thought about it and you're like creating those mental highways, right? This is the same thing. I'm like, okay, maybe they're not, everyone's pretty on fire right now. But if you ever start feeling this way, and also there's some stuff on the internet, there's always of people like talking about, like, I just want to like clear things up in life and how you can kind of see the bigger picture of Beachbody and how you may walk down the road and be like, wow, this is really hard, or like, wow, like I'm not seeing any rewards, or I'm struggling right now. I just want to help you see like the bigger picture, and also, like I said, create some mental highways. But first I want to talk through, as I like to call this housekeeping, but I don't know if other people even know what that means, so I just decided to call it, we're going to catch up. I want y'all to be totally honest with me, okay? And I'm going to stop sharing so I want to see all your faces. Are y'all using the coach website? Like, I don't care if you're not. I just want to know if you are you guys getting in there and taking about an hour, like, as your business time looking through it?
The Beachbody coach?
Mine, the Kartra one here.
Just recently, in the last couple of days, I'm trying to go in and
Perfect.
a certain section of videos that my time will allow, and then like I've got it on my calendar, watch another video.
Perfect. That's exactly what I want you to do. Perfect. I just want to remind you and help, and also remind you to tell your coaches that is like people ask me questions all, like I just had a call with somebody and she's like, I just need to learn about Instagram. Like, I don't understand Instagram. And I'm like, I have 6 videos on Instagram training. Like, just take advantage of that. Because literally it has everything that you need. And I just want to encourage you to tell your coaches too. So basically the way I'm kind of like running like new coaches, I'm like, hey, watch the first, like, I don't know, 3 days, implement it, and then if you need a follow-up call, schedule the follow-up call with me. Okay, then do the next 3 days, then schedule a follow-up call with me. The way my upline does it, which I kind of like how she does it, she's just like, hey, I want to inspire you to like live this lifestyle, and I'll walk right beside you. But I like feel like, and you can tell them this, like, hey, we have set this up for you for success and we want to walk with you. So just like follow through. I just think it's so good for new coaches. And if you are an older coach, or not older coach, but you've been doing it for a little bit, if there's one thing in particular that you're struggling with, like, just go to that section. It's labeled pretty well. So the other thing, to remind you, clearly confident. There's always an opening for my coaches. It like the emails and the questions that I get from you guys, I'm just like, man, like, clearly confident. Like, it's everything that you need, honestly, to talk to people in a certain way. And honestly, it's what I feel like has made me be able to sell so well. And so if that is something that y'all can do, like, please do it, because I love you. I would do it for free if I could, but it's not my course, it's Loy's course, so I can't do that. Also, the National Wake Up Call, I just want to like remind you, that's Mondays at 11, but it's also in a Facebook page. It's so good. It's super like Beachbody-y, but like the core and the foundation of each call is so good. I just want to remind you to catch up on this, okay? And then also, if you're a new coach, I just want to remind you the most important things that you need to be doing, okay? And I'm saying this out loud, not all of y'all are new, but I'm saying this out loud for the people that watch this. And I just had a call like this, which is why I want to like address it. The first thing you need to do is take care of yourself, do the program. Something that stuck with me so much is when Nicole last week was like, hey, just like by walking the walk and talking the talk, like, I'm getting clients. And I'm like, yes, that's so freaking true. Take care of yourself, do the program, be a product of the product. Second thing you need to do is spend an hour a day in that Kartra website, the coach training website that I was just talking about, just 1 hour a day. And then the third thing you need to do is just think about your niche. What I'm really starting to figure out is that if you can narrow down your niche, like again, the way Nicole has kind of really been like, hey, anxiety, like mental health, she's really narrowed that down. I'm like, okay, she's really had some success with that. So be super specific. I feel like we've missed that for Clearly Confident. We were not specific enough with a niche because we feel like it's for everybody. But what I'm learning, and that's the thing about Beachbody, like it could help everybody. It really could. But if you market to everybody, you end up not marketing to anybody. You got to be super specific, whatever that looks like for you. I mean, basically it's going to be a clone of you. Whoever you are, whatever you're into, whatever speaks to you emotionally. Like if you are someone who's in their 50s and you really want to be around for your grandkids and for your, for the years and years to come, that's your niche. That's an emotional thing that sticks with you. Well, guess what? Your ideal clients are going to emotionally connect with that as well. So just think about that. Like you don't have to like declare like, in your life, but that is something to like be processing as a new coach for sure. Okay. So we're talking about slump, being in a slump, what that looks like, how to get out of it, how to think about things in a different way. So I just want to remind you that like Beachbody has changed my life in so many ways, but there are also parts of this business that I don't love. Just know that. Like I don't love, going through applications every single day. I don't love going through all my emails every single day. I don't love like creating websites and creating things. Like I don't love all of that, right? But it's part of the growth process. And just remember, it does not matter what your job is. There are pros and there are cons. I think people come into this as like, oh, this is just a side hustle. So like, I don't have to do the cons, or if I don't like the cons, I can be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? Like I don't have to go all in and learn and lean in and grow in a side hustle because it's just a side hustle, right? You have your full-time job to like fall back on. But there are people that are constantly coming in and out of this business. Oh my gosh, literally there was a girl the other day. I was like, she was so excited. I was so excited about her. We had an interview. I spent some time training her. And the next day she canceled her account. I was like, you just never know, right? You just never know. But I want to talk to you about how you can keep from doing that and how you can keep your coach from doing that, okay? So I have been pretty successful in Beachbody. I have some really awesome coaches. And I have to think like, okay, why isn't everyone succeeding, right? Why isn't everyone successful at this? Why are people choosing to leave? And like, what are they saying? What are they thinking? Whenever someone cancels their account, like I always like to dig deeper, not to pressure them to continue to coach. Because listen, the last thing I want to do is be on your butt all day long. I'm trying to like just live my own life. Like I want people to want to do this, right? But I like to ask questions just because I like to hear what people are saying. I like to hear their thought process, and I like to kind of sit in their seat and see what they did wrong to prevent other people from doing that as well. So this is kind of like a list of things that I've been keeping that I just want to share. Okay. So reasons that people leave, right? No income opportunities. So people think there's no income opportunity. It's oversaturated. They've lost their passion and they couldn't build a team. Those are my main 4 things that I feel like people say. And I want to share these with you because if you start to feel these things, I want you to remember this call, and I want you to remember these points about this call. And these are the feelings that I sometimes feel if I'm like in a slump, right? If I'm like, man, I feel like I haven't been growing as much, or I feel like I haven't been making as much progress, or whatever. And this is what I have found to discount all of those reasons, okay? So let's dig a little deeper. Hello? Sorry. Okay. Why do you feel like, people's income, some people's income has dropped, or why isn't it coming in, right? Okay, so a lot of people want to say that like it's Beachbody's fault, it's Beachbody's fault, things have changed, things are shifting, the procedures and the policies are different, yada, yada, yada. But like Beachbody, here's the thing about Beachbody, right? It will always be moving and shifting. And the reason I want to talk about this is because there's been a little bit of like a pattern, and I've learned this through like Coach Wake Up Call. I've learned this through just like listening to things, right? So basically what happened is there was a 21-day fix, and it was like super successful, and a ton of coaches got really, really successful off of 21 Day Fix. And that's with the DVDs and all of that. And then when they shifted to everything being streamed, Beachbody On Demand, it's like annual all access. So coaches started to lose income, I guess, because they weren't selling like individual like DVDs and individual things, right? So there was like this big dip. And then 80 Day Obsession happened, and everybody, it was like the biggest launch to date. It was like this huge success of Beachbody, right? I am a product of the 80 Day Obsession business boomer, right? Like that's when everything changed for me, is when 80 Day Obsession came out. And I feel like that's, I think, still the best program. And I feel like Beachbody put a lot of effort into that program, knowing that they needed like a big, awesome deal and thing to coaches to be able to sell. So what I love about that, just Beachbody in general, is that they're always innovative. They're always looking at trends, right? They're noticing like that this is happening. They know that like people's livelihoods will literally depend, so thousands and thousands of people's families' full-time incomes are through Beachbody, right? They're always looking to grow. They're always, leaning in, right? They're leaning in. They listen to whatever's going on. I really, really love that. And like with 80 Day Obsession, people were getting their highest paycheck they've ever gotten. They were reaching ranks they've never reached before. And I think that there's something to remember of this, is that there's going to be dips in every single company, in every single business. The issue is that people stop working when it gets hard. So I've been having conversations with people who used to be coaches and they quit, I think because of like that dip, and now they want to come back, right? But part of me, like, I mean, as bad as it sounds, like I don't really want them, because to me that was a reflection of like, when it gets hard, they quit, right? If it's not handed to them, it's not worth it to them. But I just want to remind you, like, if and when that happens, because it's inevitable, it's going to happen. When you start to feel a dip, the most important thing you can do is to lean into that and lean into personal development. You have to get more creative, and you have to really get into the grit, right? And like, you have to like decide the personal development books that you need to read in each season, right? So there is a book called Grit. Like that's a book that you would read in that season. If you're trying to build a team, there's certain leadership books that you need. If you need to work on yourself and your own self-discipline, there's books for that, right? And I think that honestly is the biggest common denominator in successful people. And I just feel like some people take this so lightly, and they feel like they don't need it, when really it is like everything that you need. Okay, so I always want to preach that all day, every day. Okay, oversaturation. This is my analogy. Okay, let's say you want to go buy a new car, and I love Tahoes. I just think they're the cutest mom car ever, right? Let's say I want to go buy a Tahoe. I go to the dealership, I drive it, I test drive it, I drive around the lot, wherever, and I'm riding with Austin. We talk about how much we love it and whatever, and then we take the car back, and then we get in our car and we drive home. Guess what you are going to see on the roads? You're going to see Tahoes everywhere you go. It's just how car shopping works, right? And I just need you to know, Instagram and Facebook, they know you're a Beachbody coach. They know that like that's what you do. They see your hashtags, they see your posts, and the algorithm is going to show Beachbody coaches on your Instagram and on your Facebook. And I think that, people sign up as coaches, and then all of a sudden they see all these Beachbody coaches and they see it on their feed, and they're like, well, crap, everybody knows about Beachbody. But y'all, that is not true. That is so not true. Not everybody. I just encountered someone that had never, ever, ever even heard of it before. And I think that when you can shift your energy and direct your energy to people that are not in Beachbody, you realize how many people have failed at fitness and nutrition. You realize how many people really don't get it. They don't understand. Me included, I did not know how to eat. I did not comprehend it until I did 80 Day Obsession. And I was like, wow, I was eating like 7 servings of fruit a day and had no idea. And people may know about the products, and they might know about Beachbody and they might know about Shakeology, but they might not know about the supportive community. And depending on your niche, depending on what you have going on, like that could be what you talk about. The emotional part of you're connecting with people is like, I feel like moms need supportive communities so much. I see that in my sister, like she needs a supportive community. And so as a really great coach, that's something that you talk about, is the supportive community that you offer. I feel like people who are closer to my age and younger, like I think college girls have no idea what Beachbody is at all. So and again, this just depends on like where you're at in the spectrum, but think about your audience, think about what they need, what you need or what you needed at their age or whatever, and speak to that. Speak to it's called the emotional buying motive. There is an emotional pool of why people, I just went to someone's house actually, and this is really interesting. So this girl, she's so sweet, I'm not gonna say anything, but she just has like been through a lot in her life, and I like laid out the plan for her. I like tried so hard to help her understand, and she just like couldn't grasp it. And my heart like felt really heavy towards her. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to her house and I'm just gonna like show her. I would not do this for just anybody, right? Like my time is so precious and so valuable. But like something was on my heart about this girl. I'm like, I have got to go and help her. So I went and we're talking about her house or whatever. We're just chit-chatting, this and that. And we sit on the couch and I open up my computer and like tears start to fill up her eyes. And we hadn't even begun talking about it. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I get so emotional when I start talking about my weight. And I'm like, in that moment, and I've always known that like health and fitness and whatever, it is an emotional thing for women. But like, it's so emotional. And I think that if you can tap into that in your Instagram stories and like the way you talk about it and the way you promote it, that is when you reach people who aren't Beachbody, right? These people are just like struggling and they're hurting and they need a friend and they need a community and they need, you know, a guideline. They need some parameters and some boundaries on how to eat and how to live. And that's when you start to reach people that are not just Beachbody. I can't find people. Again, I still go back and I think about Nicole just like living her life and being like so happy and healthy, and people are like, what are you doing? Someone messaged me the other day and they were like, girl, whatever pie you're eating, I want a slice of it because I want whatever you have. And I thought like, man, that's like what I want people to say. I want people to be like, I want a taste of what she is having. So stay proactive. Stay engaging. Think about your everyday life. It's not just on the gram, it's in your everyday life. Alex Shook, she said to me one time, she was like, I really got to start like wearing makeup to work and like doing my hair so that people like see that I look as good as I feel type of thing. And I was like, yes, that's so true. Like so true to be proactive in that way as well. Think about how social media is changing. It's always changing. You guys make sure you're following Allie Reeves because she's always talking about I feel like the algorithms changed so much and I had no idea that they changed until I started following her. Be proactive about that. Think about how you connect with people, how you can stay up to date, and again, be on top of your personal development. I always am going to tell you that you need to say yes to things. Like if y'all saw the Rachel Hollis movie, she, at one part of the movie, it was like, she wanted to like start speaking, but she wasn't getting speaking opportunities. And so she decided to like make an opportunity and go to a nursing home to speak. I don't know if you guys remember that part, but because I would love to start speaking too, right? And that light kind of went off for me. And I'm like, okay, like just create those opportunities. It's the same example that we gave on the webinar. Like you can start Clearly Confident webinar. You can start a landscaping business, right? You can start a company, but you cannot sit in your house and sit there and hope and pray and wish that someone's going to come knock on your door and ask you to cut their grass. How would they ever know that that's what you do? So if people tell me they don't have people, I'm like, tell me about how proactive you've been, because usually that's the issue. Okay. I've lost the passion. This is something, I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you, okay? Real talk. This is something that has to be continuously fired up in me, not only with business, okay? But also with my fitness, like there are times I just don't want to care. Like I just want to like not do anything. Like there are times that I just want a week just to like not be so like focused and driven and whatever, but it's something that like I have to always fire up in myself. Again, not every single day is something that I like love doing is being on my computer and on my emails all day, right? It's not super glamorous all the time. And this is like what I like to attach stories to points like this because it just helps me. I think about when I started dating Austin, right? Like I was so nervous. I would blush all the time. I thought that like he was which I still do, but like when you first date someone, like you just think they are just the greatest thing in the world. You think they just are angels from heaven. You can't believe that they're with you, right? You never met anyone like them before, and you didn't have to work at the passion, right? You didn't have to work at you didn't have to fire it up in you. But then you get comfortable, and then you start noticing like weird quirks, and I'm sure he like thought I was so great, and then he was like, dang, she is messy and she is crazy, and that's probably what he thinks about me. He actually doesn't have that many quirks. He has a couple, but not many. But we start to see that we're like both human, and we both start to see that we're not perfect, and we both could be like, but yeah, if I could change that about you, like if I could change Austin's taste buds, I would, like, because he does not like anything. He's so picky, right? Like that would be like a con for me if that's even a possibility. But you start to see that there are like pros and cons. It's not perfect, right? There's going to be positives and there's going to be negatives. You have to work at your relationship. How many times do you date your spouse? You hear that all the time. You have to work at that, but you also have to work at your business. You have to pursue and lean into it. I hate that I'm saying this again, but y'all, personal development keeps the fire under my booty. It really, really does. It is like necessary. If you are not, I have a feeling that some of you aren't doing it. It's been like on my heart. So I want to just like really put this out there that it is so crucial. You have to work at the business opportunity, no matter what business opportunity you're a part of, right? It could be your full-time job and this is just a side hustle. You still have to work at your business opportunity, right? If you don't like a part of the business, this is what I've had to learn. You don't like a certain part, you need to ask yourself, how do I make this something that I enjoy, or do I delegate it? I have started to delegate a lot of things, which feels really, really good. But I'm learning how to make things that I can't delegate something that I enjoy. And I'm starting to think about how I can simplify it, because it's not one size fits all, right? It means you are invested in personal development, you're finding new ways to be efficient, and you're finding new ways to be effective. An example for me that I'm learning is really hard for me is leadership skills. So I can like recruit, I can sell the opportunity, I can sell a product, I can sell, right? But it's like the leadership, the depth of my leadership is not where it needs to be. And that's hard for me. It's hard to like dig in and be like, okay, how can I like deeply grow leaders? Not just like my, mom who I made a coach and then made her emeralds. Like, how can I deeply grow leaders? And I've tried to simplify it through the Coach Hub and through people booking calls with me. And I've tried to kind of lead in that way. But there's a book that I would love for y'all to read. I think it's called, so it's called Good Leaders Ask Great Questions, and it's by John Maxwell. That is one thing I'm reading for my leadership skills. And then also another book that I heard is good and I'm about to start reading is called Be Humble, Stay Hungry, and Always Hustle. And the reason I know about this book is because I heard him on a podcast, and he talks about how he keeps his business humble and he keeps himself hungry and he keeps himself hustling, and how he continuously reinvents himself over and over and over to keep the passion alive, right? And if you lose your passion, you have to find it again. And for me, that is through personal development for sure. And you have to lean in and figure out what you love that you do, right? What parts of the business do you love? Whatever you don't love, figure out a way to simplify it and to make it something that you love. Another thing is I can't build a team. So, and this is something I'm totally learning right now. Like, I'm speaking from my heart because I'm figuring it out, right? So you can go into a company, any company, and you can retail the heck out of something. That is my skill. I can sell a product, right? That's because I'm clearly confident I can sell. And you have a warm market at the beginning, right? You have your mom, you have your best friends, you have like your acquaintances, and you initially build success with your warm market. And a lot of people, and I think this is what happens with a lot of people, they have some initial success, they get their like close friends, they get their close family, they get their, you know, their college roommate, whatever, on Shakeology, and they start to have success and they're excited about it. But then they lose the warm market and they're like, crap, like I don't have anybody. I have to find, you know, new people and whatever. And it's hard for them. But at the bottom line, here's what I'm learning, okay? The bottom line about network marketing is that building a team creates residual income. Unless you want to work ridiculous hours, like I have been doing, guilty, building a team is the only way or you will hit a ceiling. So I am reaping the benefits of building a team, but it has taken me a long time to learn that. And I don't want you to spend that much time learning this. You know, developing your leadership skills, it's like I said, something that is hard for me and that I'm learning and that I'm trying to get better at, but my team is growing and I feel like the leaderships, I'm creating that depth of leadership and I'm excited about it. And I see people becoming emerald and diamonds, you know, because of their friends and whatever, like I said, but it's like the depth of the leader that you're creating is the most important thing. I would rather have 3 deep leaders than 20 shallow ones any day of the week, any day. And, you know, it comes, the way I would describe having a leader of depth, being able to inspire vision, to take action, to motivate, and to move people in a direction to reach a goal. That's how I would describe the depth of a leader. And that's what I'm working towards. It's hard, y'all. It's hard work, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it. And so like, I'm thankful because I mean, just through sales alone, I'm able to make, you know, what I'm making now, but it's the long term. That's what we want, right? We all want long-term success in this. And so I just want to remind you that that is something that you totally can do. And I just don't want to lead y'all in the wrong direction because I feel like I went kind of skirt in that direction of like retail, because that's what I'm so good at, right? I'm good at sales. I like the initial immediate gratification of that commission, right? I enjoy seeing that. But what I have learned is that like success in life is not about immediate gratification, just like fitness, just like anything, right? It's the small, seemingly unimportant decisions over time that add up to compound interest that make the biggest difference long term. And remember, it's not always going to be fun. There's going to be waves. There's going to be seasons. People are going to come in, people are going to come out, but the basic principles are always going to be the same, okay? What you are doing here is you're acquiring customers, you're acquiring a team, you're building a brand. Guys, your brand is with you forever and ever and ever. That is the one thing that will never go away. You're staying hungry. You are leaning into the new ways to share and grow and to lead people in a new direction. So that's the principles of life, right? Like you're building a brand, you're staying hungry, and you're leaning into the hard things. You know, I was listening to another podcast, story of my life, and he was talking about excuses. And he said, excuses, what did he say? He said, it's the rationalization of a mistake. Right? So it's like making themselves feel better about a mistake that they've made. And when you think about the reasons why it's hard or you're in a slump, there is always something that could have been leaned into, right? There's always something you could have dug a little bit deeper into. For me, it's the leadership skills. Like I can always dig deeper into that. And what we're putting out there, we're justifying or we're rationalizing our decisions instead of letting our activity do the work, right? Our activity doing the work instead of rationalizing our excuses. And if you can lead, like honestly guys, the way I feel like leadership is developed is like by studying what other leaders have done, or reading personal development, staying focused on the right activities, and you can have a great business, right? So learning what other leaders have done, reading personal development, and focusing on the right activities. Those are the three things, and you can build an incredible business. Lean into the hard things. That is like the main thing I want you to walk away from this, because like who wants to do the hard stuff? Nobody, right? But that is what's going to build your business, and that's what I'm learning now. Man, I wish I learned it a long time ago, but here I am, learning. Late is better than never, right? So that's really all I had for you. That I just wanted to share my heart, and I just wanted to see if that was that helpful? Did you guys enjoy that? Yeah? Do you guys ever feel like you get in a slump at all? It's okay. Yeah? Totally. Any other thoughts? You guys can talk to me. You know, it doesn't have to just be me.
Hey, Mace, actually, I have a question kind of that I'm thinking about. And with what you talked about tonight, it kind of goes along these lines about like the depth of your leadership and stuff. So I feel like whenever, like I have two groups that just launched, like I had one go in July and one go in August, and they're kind of going simultaneous. And the beginning was really, really great. I mean, it's still really great, and they were excited. But like for their glimpse week, I like wrote out little like encouragement content that I emailed to them every night for the next morning.
That's
and
awesome.
just stuff like that. They were really excited and like interacting on Facebook and everything. But what I'm realizing now is I'm trying to be like, okay, now we're, for one group, we're like almost one whole phase in. And, you know, for the other group, we're 2 weeks in. And I'm like sitting here like, okay, what can I continue to do to like continue the interaction? Because it's kind of that whole idea of like, I don't want them to do 80-day and then be like, great, I did it. Like,
yeah,
you know, like I want them to love it so much and love the community. Like I was filling out the Clearly Confident survey and asking about like what like kind of your dreams are and stuff, and wanting to do this. Like my dream is I want it to be a community that's so contagious that girls are like willing to drive on their Saturday to meet up with 10 other girls to do a workout and like grab smoothies afterwards, because they just love like being together so much, because they're girls that like put wind in each other's sails and stuff. So do you have any just like, I don't know, advice on kind of when you get past the initial excitement of like the big launch and like all the confetti and stuff, and you're kind of like just in the middle of it, how to keep exciting?
Yeah, I mean, that's an awesome question. It's hard. It's super hard. I think that, and I would love for y'all to answer this too, for sure. But I think like for me, and what I take comfort in is knowing that it's not easy for everyone. So like when if someone were to tell me, if I was a challenger and someone were to tell me like, hey, this being healthy, it isn't like super sexy, it isn't like super, you know, whatever, it's hard work, we're all kind of in it together, it's one step at a time, like encouraging them through the hard part and letting them know like it's going to be hard. Because I think like people are so excited at the beginning, they're so jazzed to change their lifestyle, but then when they hit that slump, they hit a wall. I think it's talking about this, like, hey, lean into the hard parts, right? Like walking them through and letting them know they're not alone. To me, that's what's encouraging. It's like, it's not always unicorns and rainbows. It's just not. Broccoli is not amazing. It just is what it is. But knowing that like y'all are in it together, that is what's encouraging to me. And I think it's hard because it's different for everybody. I honestly think that like you just showing up for you is encouraging for them. You know what I mean? Like, why would someone follow someone who isn't taking care of themselves? So you showing up for you is like half the battle, I feel like. What do y'all think? Tell me. Because that's an awesome question.
Okay, just like my input from 80 days, one thing that I remember was into phase 3, I was kind of at that point like I needed that re-energized. Like I like Macy said, like I was super excited at the beginning and like everyone's doing it, and then you notice people are starting to fall off. So it's like, how do you keep the motivation going? And it's just about getting re-excited about it and like knowing that the results are coming and that you're getting towards the end of it, and what are you going to be doing after. So just like that over like how to keep the excitement going from the beginning at the end when it's starting to kind of get hard because phase 3 is hard. And there were days where I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. So it's just like, I think you showing up really like just keeps people going. Like Macy kept showing up every day and I was like, okay, I got to do it, you know?
For sure. Yeah. And also personal development. I mean, I know that's so redundant, but like sharing the personal development that you've learned, huge. Anybody else?
I'll add, Alex, when you post your workouts, like I get motivated. So literally, I think I'm in phase 3. I've done phase 2 like a million times. I still have not finished my 80 day. And I think it was like this week. Yeah, phase 3 is hard. I feel tired.
Mm-hmm.
And I got up and I was like, I just don't want to do this. Like, I think I snoozed twice. And my snoozes are like 30 minutes, y'all. Like, it's rough. Like, my snoozes are not 9 minutes. So I was way late. I literally got on my Instagram. Macy talked about feeling like it's oversaturated. I follow all of you and I follow a million Beachbody coaches. So I feel like everybody's doing this. They're not. I remind myself that all the time. I saw every single one of you post your workout. Like Alex, you posted it. Mary Alice posted it. Carrie posted it. Macy posted it. I'm like, I don't cuss, but I'm like, and there's a little kid. I'm sorry. I was thinking bad words. I was like, shoot, I have to go work out. Like, I have to. Like, I can't give up. They're all doing it. And some of you, Macy, it was like 4 hours ago worked out. I'm like, ah. So for me, like that is so motivating. You know what I mean? Just like sharing your thing, doing your thing. And that's why every day, sometimes I feel like it's annoying. And like, I post myself doing these same like stupid moves every day, but I'm like, people see that and they're like, dang, I've had people message me and I think I shared it. They were like, I wasn't going to work out today. And I just saw both of your videos from yesterday and today that you worked out. And they were like, I got up and went and worked out.
Yeah.
So that is helpful. Second thing, quick thing. I learned this from like one of the top 10 coaches because I like follow all of them and see what they do. And sometimes they'll like share how they run groups and stuff. And that's partly why I'm doing this 4-week group, so I can stay super motivated with the girls for 4 weeks and then offer them next steps to jump into something else. And then, because it's easy for me to stay motivated for 4 weeks with them rather than like open-ended, like 80-day obsession. Yeah. The other thing is I schedule once a week. I typically do it on Friday mornings. I email or I reach out to like all the girls on my list who really haven't checked in this week with me. And I schedule my Facebook check-ins for the next week. Like I pre-schedule them. So I'll write like a short thing for Monday, a short thing for Wednesday, a short thing for Friday. I go ahead and pre-post those. And then any girls who didn't message on this week's, I like send them a personal message and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And typically they like will re-enter. I had a couple girls this week do that and they posted and they were like, y'all, it's been a really off 3 weeks, but I'm back. Like, thanks for the support. And I do that every Friday morning. It takes me like 10 minutes.
That's awesome. That's so good. Yeah, this is awesome. I love this time. Anybody else want to share? No? Okay, awesome. Well, I just love this time. I just think y'all are the greatest. Like, honestly, I feel so blessed. And happy moment. Oh my gosh. I just love y'all. And I love this team. I just feel like all of y'all are like goals for me, which I'm so thankful for. So, okay, I really hope to see you on Clearly Confident. It's going to be life-changing. It's so good. I'm so excited. I could cry. Tears. It's going to be awesome. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Keep killing the game. Love y'all. Bye.